My project is on campaign funding and spending. Campaign finance refers to all funds raised in order to promote candidates, political parties, or policies in elections, party activities, and party organizations. The funds could also distract from the opponents of the above. Campaign funds is the subject heading under which all books dealing with the money in politics are cataloged by the Library of Congress. Other nations use other terms for the subject and offer a broader perspective. All of them deal with the cause of democracy, a term coined by G. Alexander Hurd for his famous analysis for campaign finance in the U.S. Political campaigns have many expenditures, such as the cost of travel of candidates and staff, political consulting, and or the direct cost of communicating with voters. The types and purposes of campaign spending depends on the region. For instance, in the United Kingdom, television and advertising is provided to the campaigning parties for free and limited by law, while in the United States it is one of the biggest expenses in the campaign budget, especially for the statewide and national campaigns. In the U.S., the Campaign Political Action Committee, which is called a PAC, and Super PAC are adequate terms to identify the units that raise and spend money for political purposes. Other countries choose to use government funding to run campaigns. Funding campaigns from the government budget is widespread in South America and Europe. Not all governments subsidize state-to-consumer money. Some systems require campaign materials to be provided at a very low rate to the candidates. Critics sometimes complain of the expense of the government financing systems. Conservative and libertarian critics of the system argue that the government should not subsidize political systems. Other critics argue that the government financing, with its emphasis or equalizing money resources, merely exaggerates differences in non-monetary resources. In many countries such as Germany and the United States, campaigns can be funded by a combination of private and public money. In some electoral systems, candidates who win an election or secure a minimum number of ballots are allowed to apply for a rebate to the government. The candidate submits an audited report of the campaign expenses, and the government issues a rebate to the candidate subject to some caps, such as the number of votes cast for the candidate or a blanket cap. For example, in the 2008 election, candidates for the Legislative Council of Hong Kong were entitled to a rebate up to $11 per vote.